Hey, good afternoon. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be working on the netlink package, actually. So when we were working on the ETH tool netlink, the interface seemed to tell us that there were additional error messages available if you turn on the extended acknowledgements option. And this is something I've actually never looked into. So I did some brief poking around, and basically the extent of my poking around is this code right here. But yeah, this seems to work. So we're gonna work on this today. We're gonna add support for this so that if the netlink subsystem gives you a better error than something like just e-inval, you'll actually be able to see that in your application, which would be really nice. So I can show you all an example of this. I think I have the, let's see. If I jump over to the ETH tool command right now, I think I've got it hacked up in such a way. Yeah. So I have extended acknowledgements turned on the socket, and I'm also replacing the copy of the netlink library with my local one because that's the one I'm hacking on at the moment. So if I run this, I don't remember exactly what this does right now. So that works. We want it to not work, though. Yeah, one sec. 100 SO, that doesn't exist. So let's try that. Let's close this too really quick. Yeah, how you all doing today? Thanks for hanging out. Here we go. Yeah, so check it. So this is the extended acknowledgement stuff in action, actually. So we're seeing the kernel is giving us an error that says no devices match, or no device matches this name, which is pretty cool. So that's something totally new, actually, that I've never experienced before with netlink, but I know this is a thing that exists, and some kernel subsystems can do this, so we might as well expose this, right? And also there is this offset, so I think it's just telling me the offset of the attribute. I'm not exactly sure how useful this is going to be because some of these data structures are nested so deeply that I don't know. We'll probably expose both, but definitely the string message is going to be useful. So, hey everyone, welcome. We got some folks in different time zones here. 8:52 p.m. I know Dominic's in Europe. 1:22 a.m. Wow. Hey, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate that. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. I'm having my Chemex and stuff this afternoon, just warming up a little bit. So, I also this morning. Oh man. Well, I slept like crap last night, first of all, but I woke up this morning. I was kind of playing around like I tweeted yesterday or a couple days ago, I want to like start running like a routing protocol at home. Like I want to lab that up and figure out what it'd be like to have multiple routers and exchanging routes and all this stuff. And it seems like frankly for home use case or for most like internal like interior gateway protocols, like OSPF seems to be kind of the way to go. So I was kind of trying to lab up OSPF today, but I got into a fight with Linux bridges among other things. So it occurs to me that instead of trying to fundamentally overhaul the way my server, like my VM segment works, I should just like make a router VM. So we might later on like set up like a NixOS VM or something, and then like run like try and deploy Bird on there to run OSPF and route a subnet from the lab router VM to my physical router running NixOS as well. With the eventual goal of maybe creating like my own OSPF implementation because that's the kind of thing I do. So figure out something cool for multi-WAN IPv6 and you'll be a god. Yeah, you know, I feel like this is something this is something we've discussed on stream multiple times now, and I've even discussed in Twitter and stuff. Multi-WAN IPv6, like I feel like really your options are, you know, network prefix translation, right? With the you know, swapping out your 48 or whatever, or your 56, and then BGP multi-homing, right? So it's like both of those don't really seem what are you talking about? Super feasible for home users and stuff, you know. I think it'd be super cool. Like I would love to have like multi-WAN, IPv6, yada yada, but I don't want to pay for a business connection and then convince them that I'm not spending enough, or you know, spending enough money to like do BGP peering and get my own IP space that costs $5,000 a year. And it's just like this whole thing. So maybe the ULA MPT stuff really is the way to go for home users, but I don't frankly know. After your last stream, I noticed I already had your Launchpad Git repo open. Nice, yeah, that was a fun little project. We wrote a little Launchpad package, and I intended to build like a streaming controller thing, but frankly, I just don't need it. Like, it'd be kind of cool, but I've got my little Stream Deck here that can do stuff like, you know, turn my light on and off. There's a little Linux application that does this, so frankly, this suits my needs, and I have a hard time motivating myself these days to write code for something that doesn't, like, provide a ton of value. I mean, that being said, doing my own OSPF implementation doesn't necessarily provide much value either, but, yeah. We'll see. That's more my wheelhouse, though, doing, like, network protocols and, like, learning that way. I also looked at, I looked a little bit at, like, BGP, like, you know, if you're running BGP internally and stuff, but I guess I don't completely understand the relative benefits and advantages and disadvantages of running something like IBGP versus OSPF versus ISIS and stuff like that. But it seems like OSPF is like, IP native and pretty simple. And OSPF's job is just like, you've got a bunch of routers and they want to know all the same routes, like in the same area, and then summarize outside of areas, which seems pretty simple. Oh, you had to fork it because you want to use the library with a launch control and not a launchpad. Interesting. If it's something that is relatively similar, I'd be happy to take support for it. So yeah, feel free to shoot me a PR. I apologize. I'm not always the best about addressing pull requests on like repos I'm not actively maintaining. But let me know and I will take a look. Okay, coffee done. Yeah, so I want to expose this stuff in the netlink error type, I think. I can't really see any other good way to expose this. Like, apparently there was something about, hang on. Yeah, let's take a look at this email. So, the user space API, netlink message header, acknowledgement header, request, and then the extended ACK TLVs. This is what we're looking at today. So, you have the message, which is a string. You've got the offset of the problem in the request message. The attribute, which is the missing attribute ID, and then the success case for the cookie. And I'm not sure exactly how that would come in. Maybe if you create like a route or something and you have an extended acknowledgement turns on, like it'll give you like a cookie back, but I frankly have no idea. So I think we're gonna focus on the error case today because I know that one's the one that's useful for me. So, where we are at with that is I hacked up my NL ETH tool thing. We're probably gonna get back to ETH tool stuff too. I think the problem we ran into last time with that is that the interface does not provide complete parity yet with the ioctl stuff, and I'm I'm not sure how much of the ioctling I really want to do. We'll see. So I want to make this function smarter and expose this ACK TLVs, which is this is where the TLVs are, and they exist at the bytes after the 4-byte success codes, the size of uint32, plus the length of this embedded NL message error structure. So there's just a series of attributes in here. We decode them. We get these TLVs, dump them. Wow, my trackball is really... I don't know what the deal is. Like, I feel like, I think there might be, like, some dust or something, like, underneath the, got a little Q-tip here. Like, there might be some dust or something, like, underneath, like, my trackball, because, like, it just releases clicks sometimes and drives me totally crazy. I actually thought it was dying at first, and I managed to kind of, like, pull it apart a little bit and clean it, but... I bought a second one just in case, because I've had this for a couple of years now, and it's got some wear and tear. Let's see. Just mash on it a few times and see if there's anything in there and grind it out right. Yeah, I try and clean my peripherals pretty often because they just get nasty, but... right, so... And this capped thing, NLMF capped. So I think this means that the message was truncated in some way, but I don't understand, like... I guess in theory, I'm not sure why I would have to care about this, because I believe that this message length will always tell us how many bytes, like where the offset is of these extended TLV attributes anyway. So I think we're okay. So when I was working on this right here, the one problem is right now is this is in the OS independent code, this check message thing, so we're going to have to move this into the OS dependent area, I believe. We could simplify a couple of things, though, so that'd be good. Let's see. Check message. It is not that expensive to get your own AS, at least with Ripe sponsored memberships. You can pay a provider who's already a member of Ripe to register an AS for you. Okay. So between 50 and 150 euro, depending on the provider and which options you want. Provider independent AS tends to be more expensive. Yeah, I'm sure. I know a couple of friends have looked into things here in the United States, and I don't have any idea how exactly that all works, but I would love to, like... It'd be pretty cool if I could just be like, yo, give me a 32 and, like, just run IPv6. Like, I don't even really care about IPv4 that much, but... It's something I would like to do someday. I would love to, I'd love to play with, like, real routing protocols and stuff in my network, although now at work I get an excuse to do with that stuff a little bit, too. We're using... Do we publicly disclose? I don't know. I mean, we're using open source software at work to run BGP and stuff, so it's like I get a chance to play with that kind of stuff, which is cool. But I think I'm going to move this into, because I'm going to use these Unix constants, I think we're going to move this into the other code. And also, actually, I think I need to add the constants to xsys as well. So actually, xsys, all the NL message error stuff. So, let's see here. NL message error. Net filter, netlink, netlink, netlink. That's all netlink stuff. How many constants have I added to this damn file? It's got to be like hundreds by now. Yeah, ethtool, devlink, route netlink. This is all my stuff, pretty much. NCSI netlink, XTP. I've added a lot of these. We need to, let's see here. So we need the, oh, the drive geometry stuff. Yeah, I added these two so I could do stuff like the querying a block device for like its geometry. Oh, the shit I got myself into. So these are, let's see here, NL message error. I forget exactly what the names are. No, I want the elixir thing. So there we go. Kernel 4.5, good enough. NL message underscore netlink mmap. That's something I really should look into, the netlink mmap stuff. This is something I've actually never done. I've never tried the mmap interface, so why not get a colo space? Should be cheaper than running everything to your home. Yeah, a friend had looked into it, but it's still colo and BGP. Yeah, exactly. It's still kind of prohibitively expensive. Like, for frankly, like it's at the point where even if you go in with a few people, it's still like a little more money than you want to spend just for messing around, right? A friend did a whole bunch of research into this a while back. I haven't looked into the specifics myself, though. I just think it would be very fun because I'm a networking nerd, you know. Where is the... This is another thing. I want to add this list memberships call as well. I think that'd be pretty useful. So, yeah, we should look into the mmap interface. That would be something pretty fun, actually. NL message error underscore. Oh, I could have sworn there was some constants in here. Message error. Shit. What's it called? Cookie? Is that one of them? NL message error string. Ah. NL message error underscore adder message. Okay. This is what it's called. So if we go back to Elixir now, because I actually know how to navigate that a little bit better. Back on. Yeah, I definitely want to play. I want to play with, like, you know, big boy network stuff. Excuse me, you know, like adult network stuff at home. But I know I also just have no real need. Okay, here we go. Did I just totally skip past this, or was that an old version of the kernel, maybe? Anyway, message offset cookie max. Okay, message offset cookie. That's all we really care about. So, netlink extended acknowledgement TLVs. Const. C dot. That thing. It's kind of silly to run the code generator for this, but we're going to do it anyway. And then we also need the offset and the cookie. I don't really care about the max. C.nl message error offset nl message error cookie. Okay. I will ask on Monday. A couple of friends working at a data center if it's really expensive. Yeah, please do. You have colo space, but you've never looked into BGP. Okay. Yeah, I just think it would be interesting. So also, you know, we talked about this in what do you call it? The Gopher Slack and stuff, but there's DN42. So like, for example, I could like actually set up, I could actually like, you know, participate in a big VPN and run like BGP and stuff. And like, I know this is like a thing you could do, and this is probably a more reasonable place to start just for playing with this sort of stuff, you know. But we got to run the code generator now. So this is going to take a while. So let's go ahead and oops. It's going to take a little bit. So let's get back to where we were at. We can just hard code these for now. So we are in the wrong instance. How many things I have open? Stream checklist, don't need that. Netlink. Okay. Everything above L3 is overhead. Yeah. Right. I want an excuse to play with more like real networking technology stuff. Like, the way I describe myself is I'm a software engineer who does networking, right? But it's like I'm not a network engineer, so it's like I've never set up like a real, you know, routing protocol, all this stuff. Like I've run BGP at home here once between Metal LB and my router, like did a BGP peering session. I want to hang on. Yeah. So I want to remove some shims here. Check message. Yeah, so check message is only called This is called by the con code here, but I can make it so that check message is a shim. The problem is this library, some of these tests I'm not super happy with. Like I think there's room for improvement in some of this stuff, but let's see. Acknowledgement TLVs. Someone explained like your 18 Metal LB. Basically Metal LB's job is to like, back when I was working with it and stuff, it's like its job is to expose your Kubernetes services using like a virtual IP address. So you say like, hey, allocate addresses out of this /24, and you can either advertise them over BGP or ARP or neighbor discovery, depending on the family, which is pretty cool. And it works. It's pretty neat, but I don't run Kubernetes anymore, so I don't really have any more info than that. You were more into the hardware part. You didn't care about the network that much, but you'll look into more in the future. Yeah, for sure. I think Colo would be fun, but it's like my needs these days are so limited. Like I run a couple of VMs and stuff, but it's like, I do Netlify. I don't want to host my own websites. Like, I don't want to host websites. I don't want to do stuff like that. Like I host a Minecraft server for friends sometimes, and like I can just run that at home. So Pog not running Kubernetes, congrats. Yeah, I don't have super strong feelings about Kubernetes. It's more than what I need. The thing I wanted out of Kubernetes was like the declarative config and stuff, and like NixOS does that for me. So like I think NixOS is my Kubernetes substitute. ActTLVs capped. So we probably want to add flags for these, right? I think we're probably gonna add netlink flags actually too. So you have 2 Proxmox, 1 used in your colo. That's more than enough for my stuff. Oh yeah, I'm sure. That's pretty sweet though. What do you run on those? Just out of curiosity, because like I feel like for me, like if I was running something out of colo, it's like what would I even do? Like yeah, higher bandwidth like media serving and stuff, but it's like I can't really think of anything I would frankly need colo for. Offsite backup, but it's like in that case, like I've considered just buying like a Synology and running it at my parents' house, but then the cost of hard drives is like prohibitively expensive for a backup. I think you've always wished to build a closet data center with a bunch of Raspberry Pis. Yeah, totally, you can do that. It's pretty cool. There's all kinds of fun stuff you can do. Let's see here. So we want these flags. Append, get, create, append. Yeah, okay. Flags for extended acknowledgements. Capped header flags. Capped indicates, let's see here, the size of a request was capped in an extended acknowledgement. It's my understanding. ActTLVs, let's see here. So we've already, it's kind of unfortunate because for example, I spelled out like ack here, but then I use this exclusive. Like I didn't spell it exclusive and stuff like that. So this is something that is a nuisance. I suppose I could spell this all the way out and then deprecate this one, but since we already tagged v1, we're kind of stuck with it for a while. Such is life. Header flags. Acknowledge. TLVs indicates the presence of netlink extended acknowledgement TLVs in a response. Okay. You decided to go with Colo because you wanted your own hardware, decide exactly which NVMEs are running in there. Yep. You're hosting your own mail server. Okay, web, DB, Elasticsearch VMs, monitoring, GitLab, GitLab Runner, Minecraft, and dedicated Docker. Okay, yeah, some pretty typical home labby stuff, I guess. Like, I guess going through those for me, like, I never want to run my own email. I hear email admin is a nightmare. I've never done it, actually. I'd be curious to hear your experience with that. Web server, yeah, I use Netlify these days. Monitoring, I've got Prometheus here at home. I don't run my own Git servers. Minecraft, I can run here at home, and then Docker stuff, yeah, I run here at home too. So I guess the thing is, if I was running like a more public-facing service or something that was a lot higher bandwidth, like I would consider Colo. But at that point, I just don't have the need, you know. But that's cool though. I mean, I appreciate it. Like, I love doing home labby stuff. I find that for me, it is hard to justify the cost of everything, you know, the cost and the time investment, and everything else. Once you figured out how to host a mail server properly, it's super easy. Gotcha. Email admin was fine until Gmail came around and just decides your emails are not worth routing. Yeah, that's what I hear. It's pretty hard to get email sent because of all the spam problems and stuff. Acknowledge TLVs. Okay, so actually with those, we no longer need the constants, so... And acknowledge TLVs. Yep. But then we have the NL message error structure, which is just an error, and then the header. So we could do, actually... you would be scared using Gmail with other Google services. If they ban you, your Gmail is gone as well. Yeah, that's true. Yep. I would be mega host if my Gmail ever got banned. Yeah, that's a very fair point, you know? It's like the one thing really, like, I do a pretty good job of having like redundancies for almost everything, but Gmail is like the one thing where I would be really in trouble, you know? So that's a very good point. Let's see here. Mail in a box is pretty sweet if you don't even want to figure it out. Hardest problem is just making sure your server IP is not a list somewhere. Yeah, and then using DKIM SPF. Right, yeah, I've heard about... I know there's like all these like, you know, new security protocols or standards or something that like you're supposed to use with email these days. And then, yeah, you're getting your IP on a list. Like when I worked at DigitalOcean, of course, that was a huge problem. Like, you know, lots of our IP space was contaminated, you know, by people using it for malicious purposes. So... The home lab is a no-go if you don't have the bandwidth at home or even IPv6. Oh, bummer. Yeah, I mean, I've got gigabit down, so that's fine, of course. But then I've got like only 40 megabit up. But that's actually enough for even like, you know, whatever standard Fplex streaming. MD layer stream poggers. What's up? How's it going? It's kind of funny, actually. Back in the day, my parents, let's see here. I don't remember exactly, but my parents used to think that because our last name is spelled out like lay her, that like that might have put us on like an email like, you know, like malicious. I don't remember exactly what it was, but my parents like, oh, we need to get a new email address. And it's always been something that like, you know, people will occasionally say lay her, but it's like actually most people get layer on the first try. So like when I read it out to people, I just type out like literally, you know, if you want to pronounce my name, MD layer. Like the H is silent, and I basically pronounce my last name as one syllable. So. Thank you. Great. Thanks for sharing your blog post again on Twitter. Oh, yeah, no problem. Was that the, It is a Germanic surname. Yes, it is. Yep. Yeah, my dad's family is German. You know, don't use Plex. Plex is good, though. Plex is good software. As far as proprietary software goes, I'm pretty happy with it. Which blog post did you look at, by the way? Was that the byte parsing one? That actually, you know, that pattern originated... The iterator pattern. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that originated in this library, actually. That's a pattern I use all over the place, so. Lower Germany. Yeah, you know, I've never been to Germany. It's one of the places I really wanted to go this year. We need to do some magic here. Jellyfin is greater than Plex, open source. Yeah, fair enough. I'm sure. Yeah, I bought Plex Pass a few years ago because I was using the HD Home Run, which needed Plex Pass at the time. But I've never tried out Jellyfin. I should give it a go. The proprietary software I would love to get rid of the most is the Unify controller. Like, I wish I could get rid of the Unify controller and, like, you know, basically run Ubiquiti like switches and stuff with like the management control plane, but using my own controller. Like that would be, pipe dream project as an open source Unify controller, but I don't think it's probably worth the time and effort, You could write your own controller. Yeah, that's something I've thought about. It's that'd be a lot of work. Next stream, yeah, no problem. It's not gonna happen. I would love it though. I would love that. Plexus compared to MB Jellyfin, awful. Please, yes, no. If you're in Germany, say hi in. I can't pronounce either of those things. I'm not in. Well, I am not in Germany, but I know Dominic is. But yeah, I've never been to Germany actually. I really want to go. That'd be sweet. So we need the message length and then the. I'm trying to. I don't want to add a bunch of build tags around this stuff, so it's like I'm trying to like cheat this a little bit. Ask GPT-3 to write the controller for you. Yeah. Stop telling people where I am. That's the only thing I know is that you're in Germany somewhere, and I know that even with GopherCon Europe, you didn't want to go to the conference, so that would be yeah. So I'll probably never see you in person, which is yeah. It's cool, we're good. Yeah, so we actually the header here is exactly the same structure, so I guess we could just cheat this. So var h netlink message. Oh shit, we can actually do. Hang on. H colon equals. We're gonna do some unsafe pointer YOLO. Header. Starting at 4. 4 up to 4 plus the size of the header. Size of. Which is, let's see here. No. Unsafe size of header. Yeah. So that should give us actually the same data. That should give us exactly what we want. A Go Crazy based Unify replacement? Yeah, that would be sick. I would love that. It's just too much work. Like the thing is the Unify controller APIs are unstable and stuff, and I frankly have no idea like how they handle versioning and stuff like that, and they add new devices all the time and new capabilities, and like it's just I don't know. I'm not convinced it's worth the trouble, That would be sick though. If there were, or like for example, if I could run NixOS on my switches, I totally would, Dominic of the Static Check Pog. Yeah, right on. You switch from Unify to MikroTik. Yeah, they're cheaper 10G. Yeah, that's true. I actually do have one MikroTik switch. I don't love it though because it's just not as clean. It's just not as clean as the Ubiquity gear as far as like the management and everything. Let's see here. Abdullah Tifdev, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Header. UBNT for Wi-Fi, MikroTik for switches. Fiber channel cabling stream 1. I'm never running fiber channel at home. No point. Let's see here. So header h length, right? Does this work? Can I take the address of the header literal 4 plus unsafe size of why? 4 up to 4 plus the size of the header. What's wrong with that? InfiniBand 1. I actually have an InfiniBand thing. I don't have any reason to use it though. Can I take address of why? Oh, I guess I want to take the address of the data starting at. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So, this should give us the same thing, right? Yeah, it does. Cumulus switches 1. Yeah, Cumulus is aren't they like open source like Linux kind of based switches and stuff? That'd be sick. I would love like if there were a Ubiquity alike, but that was open source and stuff. I would totally use it. Open source or like I could build my own control plane or software. Like I would totally do that. But in the meantime, Ubiquity tends to be the best kind of bang for your buck. And for better or worse, the controller stuff is like decent, but never say never. Just wait until you're running fiber. Yeah, I'll be running fiber definitely if I get I'm looking at buying a house here in the next few months, and I think that probably if I were to run like Wi-Fi either or run like networking outdoors like to a garage, I would definitely do a fiber run. That'd be a lot of fun. So yes, the drivers for the switch and router ASICs are upstream. Nice, that's cool. Taryn, thank you so much for the sub for 9 months. 9 months. That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sure, you can fiber, but it can be Ethernet. Yeah, I'll do both, of course. But get some SFP plus action going on. That'd be fun. Did we get rid of all the Unix in this file? I think we just did, right? So this is all, yeah, unmarshalling the attributes. So we need to produce a netlink error. We're getting a house. Yeah, we'll see. It is something I would like to do for sure. So I'm looking at these acknowledgement TLVs, and I feel like we should only look at these in the error case, I guess. So maybe we want to look at this like, let's see here. So if C is success, then we're good to go. No error. Otherwise, we are going to fish out a bunch of information out of here. Turn new op error. What does this do? Oh, yeah, we're going to want to build a more intense op error here for sure. So this is going to be, let's see here, return op error with, we're going to have the message and the offset, right? So we're adding a couple new fields to this. So we're going to have, let's see here, message, string, offset, int, and then the cookie. But I don't think we're looking at the cookie, actually. So is this done yet? It is. Cool. Yep. Okay. I can ship this upstream. So get code review change. Unix. Can't commit to master. Oh, that's right. MDL NL message error. Unix add NL message error. Constants for netlink extended acknowledgement. Get code review mail dash tribot dash trust, right? I think that works. Waiting for, okay, cool. Not logged into Garrett, so I gotta go over there and add the reviewers and stuff. Boy, what a thing. I'll just go ahead and tag Ian and Tobias because, let's see here. Okay. Back to where we are. Since you are uploading, checking, etc., have you ever checked out Tailscale and Depaware? So, Depaware. Yeah, Depaware is the little tool they use in the repo, right? It's pretty cool. Great for listing dependencies. Yeah, I've looked at that a couple times, and it's cool that it lists the unsafe dependencies too, actually. I haven't used that super closely. As far as Tailscale, I think it's like super cool product and stuff, but I've already got like a manual WireGuard set up, and it works fine, mostly. That being said, I should just deploy Tailscale, I'm sure. It would just be easy. But also, I think they're getting closer to adding IPv6 support for it, and then I'll be a lot more tempted. I'm a bit of a zealot, you know? Let's see here. So we're going to have the op error here. So this is going to be new error, -1 times the code. Right? The op is going to be receive. And then we add, let's see here. So we can iterate through these attributes. Let's see here. So yeah, now the attribute decoder is implemented in terms of the the unmarshal attributes is now implemented in terms of the attribute decoder, which is interesting. So I think we're probably better off just using the attribute decoder instead. So if we just create a new decoder here, yes, I'll comment all this. Don't worry. I don't understand what this is for yet, the capped thing, because I feel like the thing is with the capped flag. Actually, no, I added support for it, didn't I? So to do MD layer. What exactly does this change? No idea. Don't know. So now we have the extended TLVs. Yeah, we're gonna, for this extended TLVs, we parse the header that occurs after the size of the uint32 error. So let's see here. So const success equals 0. We only use that constant in one place, so we don't really need it. 0 indicates no error. Let's see here. We've already... So now here we return the error, and we're going to populate the rest of it. So I guess in this case, yeah, we'll do the attribute decoder instead. So AD error, new attribute decoder. Right for, shoot, AD next. Switch AD type. Case. This is where they have the Unix stuff that we don't have imported yet. So, fun. Not near enough IPv6 zealots. People just give up too easily on IPv6. Yeah, that's true. It is. It's just different, but I think it's worth learning. You were hoping IPv6 was just IPv4 with more bits, but then you realized you got to relearn a ton, which has delayed my zealotry. Yeah, I understand that. It's intimidating, but the thing is that, like, when you learn about IPv6 and then IPv4 and the way, like, the decisions have been made instead, like, yeah, I mean, ultimately doing a fundamental rework of the protocol was going to delay adoption, right? And it still has, you know, the protocol's been around for 25 years and still, you know, maybe 28%, 30% of Google's traffic or something like that. But the thing is that, like, a lot of those fundamental reworks, like, make things, like, so much better. Stuff like neighbor discovery is so much more extensible than ARP could ever be. It runs on top of the link local addresses, so you don't have to do, like, some crazy Ethernet garbage. It's extensible because you have all the TLVs, so you can add new options no problem, and routers can just ignore the ones they don't care about. As far as the IPv6 header itself, you got all those extension headers, and they stripped a lot of the useless information in IPv4 out. It just makes a lot more sense. And yeah, of course, the address space is, like, way more than anybody could possibly need, but that means that, you know, if we screw it up with the current, what is it? We've allocated a single, like, /3, and it's like we have, like, what, 7 more of those, something like that. So, for the global address space, so we have a very long time to, you know, never really run out of addresses, which is great. So v6, yeah, there's a lot of fundamental differences, but it is good. It is very good. You should learn it. I've got a couple, let's see here. Do I have... Actually, that last book on IPv6 linked in that networking command I just posted, I do like that book. I thought that was very useful for me, and it explains things like a Cisco terminology, like, so you can actually go through and learn the CLI syntax for all that stuff too, but it teaches all the concepts, stuff like, you know, router advertisements, like how do you find your default route out of an IPv6 network. You know, those things all make a lot more sense, and I really do like it. So, don't forget that you don't have fragmentation with v6. Yes, that is true. No fragmentation, so it becomes the host's problem, which is nice. We need the constants now, but the value of those is, so we can just hard code for the time being. Interesting. Sounds like you're probably stuck with Stockholm Syndrome for v4. Yeah, totally. That's, yeah. That's exactly what it is. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, so we can just do hard code for now. So case 1 is the message. So let's see here. So error message equals AD string. And then case 2, error offset equals AD. What's the size of this? I have no idea. Oh, I think it's uint32. Okay. So we got that. Back to where we were. Let's see here. Is it possible to replicate the security benefits of NAT for home users with v6? Yeah. So people in chat are already describing this. So security benefits, you want a firewall. You can do a stateful firewall without needing NAT. Nothing stops you from running a firewall. That's exactly it. So the thing is that, like, people conflate NAT as security, but NAT is just a mechanism to avoid address exhaustion. NAT happens to make, you know, NAT happens to kind of take the role of, like, a firewall in a lot of cases. Like, you just, like, you know, you say, you know, don't forward traffic to this port, and then that's your firewall, but that's cheating. Like, really, NAT and a firewall are two different concepts. All you have to do is just run a firewall, and you're good to go, you know? And the same things apply for v6. Like, if I want to allow this address on this port, I open a rule in my firewall, and I block everything else, you know? You block basically anything you don't want getting out, so... You're thinking on behalf of your parents' home internet. Yeah, I mean, you can run dual stack and stuff. It's just that most devices don't support v6 firewalls very well, like a lot of consumer devices especially. But any home router that does IPv6 has such a firewall. Yes. As far as, like, the flexibility of it though, like, I know, like, a lot of them only have, like, port forward menus. So for v4, I'm not sure what it's like for v6 on most home gear. Jay Edition, thank you for the follow. Let's error message type error has, let's see. Did we already declare error in this function? I don't think we did. No, we're declaring an op error. Let's see here. If error colon equals AD error. Error not equals nil. Return error. Thanks for the answers. UIs, etc. are awful. That's expected. They're home routers. Yeah, that's the struggle. Hey, Gary Onion, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate that. Welcome to the crew. Go ahead and enjoy your emote. Everyone in chat behave. It's time for me to make coffee. Yeah, totally. Should be good. Didn't I? Why? Oh, this is why. Shadowing. Okay. Oh, error. So, oh, error. Error. There we go. Okay. Cannot use a uint32 as an int. Yes, correct. Failed to get wake on lab modes. File does not exist. Yes, that's technically true. But we can actually inspect the error more closely now. Hang on one sec. Where's it at? Link state. Yeah, link state. Where are we at with this? I think we do some error unwrapping, don't we? Or no, we don't. We don't expose the. Oh no, we do here. Yeah. So I guess we're gonna cheat for now and just return the netlink error manually to be able to see more details. So for example, if I do this, not enough arguments, nil error, right? Wake on LAN modes received no such device. Is that because oh yeah, it's because the error doesn't actually expose the detail yet. So this is where I reconsider like some of my choices here. Like I might make it so it exposes more detail, because now what we can do is we can go to the op error type and add fields for this. So let's see here. So message is the message provided by the kernel. Message and offset are contain, let's see here, information provided by the kernel when extended acknowledgement. Actually, in this case, I should probably document the let's see here, extended. We have con, right? It's a con option type or something. So type con op. There we go. When the, let's see here, extended acknowledge option is set on a con, contain additional error information provided by the kernel when they send. Okay, if this option, let's see here, is not set, both of these fields will be contain the 0 value, right? Errors are values. Yeah, errors are values. Works for me. Works in my code. Anybody who's trying to do like, try catch stuff is you're asking for trouble. Right. So if e message equals nil, we'll probably do something like let's see here. SB strings builder something, right? So SB right string. Can you create is there a constructor for strings builder, new builder? No, there's not. SB right string, format sprintf, right? So we add that stuff, and then if the error message is not nil, we're going to attach more information. So or e offset not equals 0. This is not an empty string, right? So let's see here. Offset %d message %q. E offset E message, right? And then I'm gonna go ahead and ignore, because I know this can't return errors, right? Nil error. Yeah, it's just because it fulfills an interface. So SP string. Yep. Format sprintf. Okay. So now, there we go. So netlink received no such device, offset 24 message, no device matches name. Pretty cool, huh? So this is all the extended acknowledgement is this gives you more information if it's turned on. And if we go back into the file now, we turn it off. Let's see here. Where did I set that up? Right here. I think for this library, we're gonna enable it by default. There we go. No such device. Done. We did it. It always throws me off when I go back to JavaScript or something and you use try catch the way Go handles errors. Yeah, you hard it. Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's just the thing is like errors are not exceptional conditions, right? Like when you're doing like file IO, like errors happen all the time, and it's important to realize that like you should just treat them as something you have to handle in your code. So you tend to Golangize when you return to other languages. Yeah, I can understand that. I think that when you're in a language, like try and do as the people in that language do. It's just that it'll teach you better habits and you get a more kind of open way of thinking. But that being said, like I totally understand. I tend to write Rust, like I like write Go and stuff. I know, but I have people who actually know Rust review my code and teach me better. So I'm gonna grab some more water. I'll be back in just a sec. Okay, we're back. Joey Bolo, welcome. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Try catch is just go to dressed up a little bit. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I know like when I would write Java code in school and stuff, I would you have the massive try block with the catch. And it's like, oh, just print the error and see what happens, and that's a thing. But errors are not unexpected. You should tell that to every application written in Python. Yeah, I've seen enough Python stacks. Yeah. Oh no, he pressed Control C. Let's print the stack. Yeah, exactly. File not found, stack. Internet down, stack. Full moon, stack. Stack, stack. Love it. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. No moon, no stack. Yep. Yeah, I understand that. So if we're on the tests here now, yeah, it's none of this code is tested. Yeah, we gotta add all this. What's this? Hang on. Fill op error. No, we don't want to do that. Okay, so now we need to write a little bit more code here to deal with this stuff. Let's see. Let's see here. So Unix NL message error. What are these called? NL message error. I just looked at this, didn't I? Here it is. Error message. Okay. Error message. Unix NL message error. Error offs. Right? It would have been 2 more letters to type offset. Like, why would they just do offs? That's awful. That's an awful constant name. Stackception. Code copy from Stack Overflow without understanding it? Stack. Yeah. Yep. No doubt. Okay, so the way this is structured is, let's see. We need to write a test that tests this behavior as well, for sure. It's gonna be a thing. To do MD layer, investigate the capped flag. No extended acknowledgement. Return error. Okay. So we have the success case. All errors returned to this function must be a type op error. Yeah. Oh shit, so that means that this needs to be an op error too, actually. Okay. But then if the attributes are invalid, ugh. I mean, malformed. Let's see here. So malformed, extended, acknowledge, malformed TLVs. Pretend like we. Let's see here. Just return the op error with the info we have. Seems reasonable to me. And then no matter what, we're going to return the op error down here. So, explicitly ignore AD error. Let's see here. So malformed TLVs. Just return the error we have. Yeah. Okay. No extended acknowledgement. Now we got the TLVs down here. Now we got to do the checking and stuff. So let's see here. Yeah. Python's a thing a little bit. I don't hate Python by any means. It's just I definitely prefer Go being so much more explicit, you know. Let's see here. So Ooh, suggest a poll. Time spent points. What would be your language of choice if Go and all of its forks disappeared somehow? Ah, okay, interesting. So what should we add at the poll options? I can do that. Let's see here. We'll create a poll. New poll. Language of choice if your language of choice if Go disappeared. So let's go with like I think probably like C and Python because those are two things Go people kind of talk about a lot. Maybe I'll have like Rust. C, Python, Rust. What else do people compare Go with a lot, right? Baking. C, Python, Rust, Zig. Shrek GG, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Zig, Swift, maybe, yeah. Swift could be up there too. Yeah, Swift is used for cross-platform stuff. Hey, what's up, Dimitri? Nice to see you here. Yeah, we'll do Swift. We'll do C, Python, Rust, Zig, and Swift. I think those are fair, and we'll let the poll go for a couple minutes. So, cool. Can I vote in the poll? Can I vote? I think for me right now it would be Rust. I think that Rust is I think Rust fits a really nice middle ground for me. I recognize that like there's a lot of inherent mental complexity in Rust, but it really does appeal to like my sense of like, you know, the compiler will tell you exactly what's wrong with your program, and chances are pretty good that if it compiles, it's probably correct, you know, which is very cool. And also you can write screaming fast software and do, you know, effectively manual memory allocation without manual freeing and stuff. So it's a very cool language. I should try Zig. Zig is on my list for sure. What is the font family and color scheme? It looks really nice. I use the Monokai color scheme, and the font family is Droid Sans Mono or Monospace. Probably Droid Sans Mono is installed on my system, so that's my guess. But yeah, I use the Monokai color scheme, and I really like it. Let's see here. So theme. Yeah, Monokai. I've used this for ages. Yeah, we're gonna make some constants up here. So let's see here. So header offset equals 4. Java probably, give that the project fiber is implementing green threads in Java as well. Interesting. Project Loon for fibers. Okay. Although you have yet to try and learn Rust, you would use Rust 2 if Go would disappear, and you're torn between C or Rust. Yeah, I mean I really do like C, but I think C is a very cool language, of course. But I think that these days, like, you know, we can do better with like a more powerful compiler and stuff like that, you know, too. Looks like the poll is almost over. So far, Rust is winning. All right, the poll is over. So Rust wins with 5 votes. Second is Swift with 2 votes. Then C with 1, Zig with 1, Python with 0. Interesting. So I've actually never tried Swift. I mean, I'm not in the Apple ecosystem at all, so I've actually never tried it. I understand. I think Swift is cross-platform now. I wonder if it's seen any adoption outside of Apple ecosystem though. I frankly have no idea. But it seems we got a lot of Rust fans here. I've done a couple of Rust things. I've done a couple of Rust projects. I'd like to do another one. I kind of want to build like an SDN system. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I know that's like a crazy thing, but header offset. We're gonna so the location where the NL message header occurs after the uint32 error code. Project Loon is the Google project to provide internet from hot air balloons. Right, yeah, I thought so. You should really stream some Zig. Yeah, you should. I would watch. I would love to see. Taryn, I guess I don't know if you're busy today, but it's like I'd be happy to send you a raid if you wanted to stream after this. I mean, it's up to you, no pressure, but I would definitely watch some Zig. Does Rust have support for CSP? You mean message passing for concurrency? Rust early on had like green threads and stuff, and like it has channels and things and like a select macro and stuff like that, but it's not as... I think the language has taken a different direction as far as things like the async futures ecosystem and stuff. Like things are different these days. You have no idea about Swift adoption outside of Apple because Go hasn't disappeared yet. Yeah, totally. That's a very good point. Like if Go was gone, like yeah, it makes you wonder. That's a very good point. They shuttered Project Loon from Google. Oh, that's sad. I thought that was a really cool idea. But that being said, with stuff like Starlink, I think that there's hope for, more accessible internet for folks, which would be great. What do we got? Oh. Text messages, Twitter. Let's see here. So, header offset. Oops, header offset. Okay. The location where the NL message header occurs after the uint32 error code. We may need to parse the header in order to read extended acknowledgement TLVs. Yep. It sounds like it was about $10,000 per balloon, so it kind of makes sense. It did go for longer than most projects that go without any return. Gotcha. Do not wrap with OSS call error. Yeah, this produced by netlink message, not a system call. Right. Investigate the caps flag. No extended ACK. Okay, so let's see here. So the flags indicate an extended acknowledgement. So, which means the TLVs should be at the, let's see here. So behind the NL message header structure should be at the offset indicated by the NL message structure header, NL message structure length plus the offset where the header began. Yeah, that seems reasonable. And we attach the message in the offset. Yeah, okay. I think this is pretty good. I still don't know what the cap flag does. We'll figure it out. Longer than most at Alphabet. Gotcha. I mean, I give them credit for just like trying all kinds of different stuff, I mean, ultimately not everything pans out, but like I said, I hope that, projects like Starlink will kind of pick up the torch in that area too. This function got more complicated, but it's good. Let's see here. Yeah, now we need to write tests that gets this too. Okay. So strings offset. Yeah, I need to write that as well. So message and offset containing additional. Right. Ghost view, all that stuff. The new flags, the reworked logic. Okay, now we do write tests. Test. So we got a couple things in here where we do errors, right? A short error message. Yeah, not enough data. You're still waiting for internet via Google TISP. I don't actually know what that means. I had some friends who had Google Fiber when they lived in Kansas City, and I was pretty jealous of that. And of course, they did nothing with it, and they had a horrible consumer router and stuff. So it's like they were, very limited. But I can dream, can I? Toilet ISP. Is that a? I can't tell if you're joking. Where is the message? Check message. Yeah, okay. So, message test. Hang on a sec. Header flag string. Header type string. Message marshalling. Message unmarshalling. It's been a very long time since I've looked at the... Oh, you are not joking. Okay. Let's check that out. You got me curious. This is all... Oh, this must be an April Fool's joke, I assume. Interesting. Let's see here. Followed by TLVs and yeah. You moved from Kansas City right before they showed up there. Definitely was jealous of my friends that got it. Yeah, I can imagine. I would be. Oh man, writing out the header stuff manually is gonna be a whole chore, isn't it? Let's see here. Not enough data. Yeah. So this is gonna be. I can't remember if the NL test stuff. Will this populate length fields for me? I don't remember if it does or not. This is going to be a whole thing. Test con receive. Let's see here. Extended, acknowledge. Netlink errors. Now we have, yeah, so we got the 4 bytes for that. And then we need a, let's see here. So this is not going to pass, but error no -1. So go watch dash v dash run equals test con receive extended. I spelled receive wrong. Yeah, I did. Extended. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Error no -1. So let's pull this back over here. Now we need to. So we got to fill in the bytes for a header, right? We got to fill in the bytes for a header and then indicate how long the header is, and then also indicate how long the header is, and then find the acknowledgement behind. Find the acknowledgement TLVs behind everything else too. That's gonna be a thing. Okay, so netlink error, netlink extend or acknowledge TLVs. Right. Oh shoot, that's a flag, not a header type. So type flags. Panic. Index out of range for really? What did I do? Let's close the file browser. I'm gonna make this smaller so I can read the panic. Line 300, out of bounds access. Really? Oh. I guess that would be, yeah, that would be out of bounds, wouldn't it? So if there is no header there. Any company trying to do any amount of innovation is going to have a list similar or longer, especially at that scale. You saw someone on Twitter was trying to track down dates for software projects Apple shut down for a similar list. Yeah, I can imagine. You just like the memes. Fair. So this is panicking. I would expect this would... Oh, I guess this is pointing to a byte that doesn't... Yeah. So now we need at least... So now we need at least the length of a header. So the size of a header here, right? So... if len m data is less than the header offset plus the unsafe size of a header. Safe size of header. We have to have at least this much data now. Return error short message. Mismatch types int and uint pointer int. Sure. Okay. So extended acknowledgement. Let's see here. No header. You're mostly only sore over Google Reader, which is funny because if they brought it back as is, I probably won't even like it anymore. Yeah, I never use Google Reader. I know a lot of people really like that. Meanwhile, we have MagSafe non-touch bar Mac book coming. Oh, interesting. So they've decided the touch bar is no longer something they want to pursue. No NL message header. Okay. Extended acknowledgement, no header. Extended acknowledgement. Bad TLVs. So now we're going to have the header structure, so we need to populate a bunch of bytes in here. Oh, man, this is where, like I was saying, the manual length calculations and stuff. Oh. So I guess probably the way to do this is going to be to write a little helper here that can pack bytes for us. Like, basically pack the error code, and then the netlink message header, and then some random bytes for the body, and then the TLVs, I think. This is going to be like a whole thing. So, pack xtac. Is this the Go language? Yes, it is. Yep. Let's see here. So, error no, uint32. H is a header. And then we have the bytes, like the raw bytes for it. Body, raw bytes, and then the TLVs is going to be netlink attributes, right? Oh, this is gonna be a thing. We're gonna write a function here. This is the Go language I speak for him because it looks like it's written by empty layer. Yeah, I do okay. I'm not bad. I'm not gonna like this test very much, but I do pretty good in general. Let's see here. So we're gonna need. Oh my god, why do I do this to myself? So b array bytes. So let's see here. B : equals nlenc uint32 bytes. Error no, right? And then we append b with. This is gonna be a whole thing. 4 o'clock already? Really? Wow. I got up hella early today, so it feels like it should be. Huh. Anyway. Looks like C++. I guess I haven't read that much C++. I think Go looks pretty unique, though. He's not large databank. Yeah. Let's see here. Header. So I gotta pack the header bytes, which means H Marshall. Header is marshalling method, right? Doesn't it? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I gotta do the unsafe. Yeah. The message. I guess we could just do a netlink message instead. It'd probably be easier here. So. But this requires us to set the length, doesn't it? I think it does. Oh, man. I'm regretting this already. M message. So message bytes error. M Marshall. Let's see here. Marshall binary. Error panic. Failed to Marshall message. Right. Append the message bytes, and then we append the TLVs that we marshal as well. So AB error netlink marshal attributes. TLVs. Marshall attributes. And then we return B, appended B with AB as well. Okay, so this is roughly the data structure we're trying to pack together here. I hate this function already. It's awful. Just do what I do when I regret things, quickly end stream. Yeah. Or do what I do when I regret things, discard my onstage changes. Yeah, I've done that sometimes too. I mean, this function's disgusting, but this is the data structure the kernel's giving us here, right? So pack, extended acknowledgement, 1. Oh boy. Okay, so this is gonna be netlink message, header. I think I'm gonna have to set the length field myself, which is gonna be god awful. It's not anything I want to do, but we can skip everything else though. We don't care about anything else, which is good. So, and then we need netlink attributes. Yep. Failed to marshal, header length incorrect. Yeah. Damn it. I could have sworn I had a helper. I probably got a helper in the connection stuff for marshaling the length for you, but I don't remember. Yeah, because the connection can figure it out, so we're just going to probably steal that logic. Because manually setting length and this sort of stuff is just god-awful, you know. Receive, send, fixed message. Yeah, so header length is the NL message aligned of the message length. NL message length of the data. So yeah, we're gonna cheat things. Oops, it's not what I wanted. That's okay. So we are going to set the length manually. So m header length equals the unit 32 of the NL message align of the NL message length of the body, right? Len m data. Pretty sure that's right. Undeclared. Ah, shit. Because we're testing outside the package, aren't we? Damn. How much of your time do you spend researching the topics you're going to be coding compared to the actual coding time? I'd say in this case, like I probably did like an hour of research like on my own, and now I've been working on this for a couple, an hour and a half or so. But it depends. Like it depends on the topic. If there's something that I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing, I can just kind of get started with it. But for this, like I wanted to not waste people's time. I wanted to kind of have something in mind where I knew what I was doing a little bit. But yeah. What are you using to watch for changes? Yeah, I've got this silly little thing. I always talk, let's see here. So cat, I guess we can use this in Go Watch, right? Yeah, I've got this silly little thing. It just runs Go test and then uses iNotify wait. This is not like a good thing, but I just use this. So it's convenient, you know. I really don't want to set the length manually. I'm wondering if it's worth putting this in with the other tests. Let's see here. Simple and effective. Yeah, it is. It works well enough, you know. I think I'm gonna cheat a little bit, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this within the scope of. We're not gonna do this at the con level. We're gonna do this at the check message level, I think. So we're gonna move this over to this test file because it's god awful to try and do this manually. Test message. So let's see here. So this is me test check message. So func test check message t testing t. This is going to be probably a table driven test, I imagine. Maybe. So let's see here. You know what's funny now is that like I'm finding myself like I've been working on this library for 4 years, so I'm finding myself like regretting past decisions. Like, oh, why doesn't the message just figure out the length on its own? And it's like, oh, because if the caller really cares, they can set it by themselves. But in reality, I don't think anybody actually does. Like, maybe I should have just not exported this, you know. But the package has v1 tags. There's nothing I can do, which is just kind of a silly little thing. So we have to. Let's see here. We're going to do something like the following. So error colon equals check message, where the message is going to be something we define in here, which is going to be all this junk, probably packing the extended acknowledgement behind a code. Just be like JavaScript and change your API anyway. Seems good. Nah, I'll be kind. God, I hate this though. I hate writing out this stuff by hand. It's awful. So the header has to have a type of error, right? So header type error log.println error, right? So test check message 505. Okay. So Marshall attributes. Now we're within the scope of the function. So Marshall attributes, right? Not enough data. Okay. Yeah. So we have the type. And then we're going to pack the extended attributes, pack the extac within the body of the message, right? Yeah. Because this is the acknowledgement response. So we set a type of error, and then we have the error number. And this is all packed into the body, I believe. And we also need to indicate in the flags. Yeah. So flags, extended, acknowledge as well. Why did that do it? That's not necessary, is it? Yeah. It's strange that it would suggest the type conversion there. Pack the extended acknowledgement of all this junk. We have another message, and then we have the TLVs, which we'll do nil for now. Oh, wrong one. Acknowledge TLVs. That's why. What is the purpose of this library? This library connect all the things with links, world domination, especially net-related things. Yeah, netlink is it's a socket family in Linux. So if you do, let's see here, project, you can check it out. Basically, this implements netlink sockets for Go, and it allows you to probe at lots of things in the kernel. Basically, netlink is just a thing that the kernel uses a lot for programming these days. So this is data. It's basically, yeah, you can think of it as just like a kind of like a message bus between user space and the kernel, really. Yep. Okay, so we got the error number. Now we have the extended acknowledgement, so we have to populate the header. It does not work for Windows. No, it does not. To replace ioctls. Yeah, it is meant to replace ioctls in general, and it's because Windows sucks. Yeah. We got the header, and now within the header we have to specify the length. So this is where things are going to get a little bit trickier. So we're going to have, like, basically, you know, what, like 4 arbitrary bytes here or something? So header, length, and then data. This could be the arbitrary request data. FF, whatever. And then we have the TLVs. I think this is right? So that, okay. Yeah, okay. So this is working. Cool. That's good. Matt's talk Go for Con 2018 explain netlink. Yeah, thank you for linking that. Yeah, that's that lightning talk gives you a little bit of an overview. Good call. Thanks for linking that. Test check message. We're probably gonna turn this into like a table driven test. So, oh god, so the attributes live at the offset right behind the stuff. Man, I got a headache. I took a nap earlier today and that helped, but like I said, I'm cursing myself from 2016 when I wrote this library for making some of this stuff more difficult. 2018, you were probably in the community room adding the attribute encoder functions. Yeah, you probably were. I think you added those. I write the decoder and you wrote the encoder. Was that the case? I don't exactly remember, but yeah, I think that might have been around that time as well. It's kind of funny now because I take those types for granted, and like I use them every single day in my work now. This is attributes, something like that. Yeah. Are netlink sockets used for communication in a similar fashion with the Windows API message system? probably. I don't know anything about Windows really is the problem, but yeah, if that's like something Windows uses to make like syscalls, then yeah, basically you can think of it like that. NL enc string hello world, right? Bytes actually, bytes. Message hello world. Hey, it works. Sweet. Okay, so test check message. Let's see here. Extended acknowledgement. It's more like WinSock and the interface API in Win32 and the Win32K kernel. So some of it would only be available in the NT layer outside of Win32 personality. Today I learned. I have no idea. This is all news to me. Hey, good afternoon. How's it going? Yes, this works. This helper function is disgusting, but it does work. Oh, the shit I get myself into, huh? So test check message. We're gonna turn this into a table-driven test, I'm sure. And then we're going to populate the offset, for example, with a uint32. uint32 bytes of 2. People talking Windows internals, and I have like zero knowledge. Yeah, me either, really. I've done basically no Windows syscall programming at all. For me, like, you know, the Linux syscall, or really the Unix syscall interface makes a lot more sense. It's just a lot smaller, you know. But then you get stuff like netlink instead of like all the Win32 APIs. So like it's all just different trade-offs, you know. It's not like netlink is really trivial either, but I try to make it more trivial so you don't have to care about stuff like this because my library does it for you, you know. You have your book on Windows 8 internals on your bookshelf at work. Nice. That's cool. Test check message. Op errors. Yes, this is going to be, we're going to make it so this function checks for certain op errors, I think. So we're going to turn this into a table-driven test. And then the error will be a op error. So given some set of inputs, like netlink attributes, or let's see here. So we're gonna make it so that you have request bytes. No, I guess I probably don't need a table-driven test. Like, this covers it pretty well, I think. I should probably add a test case for this, though, because this was an out-of-bounds thing that we avoided earlier. But check message, extended, acknowledgement, TLVs. Technically, some of the stuff you need APIs to program against to make a Windows mini port driver or filter driver would work the way you use netlink on Linux. Gotcha. Yeah, I know that it's very interesting. It's been fun watching the Jason Donenfeld, the author of WireGuard, like do all of the work on the WireGuard Windows stuff and like all of the the Go, syscall, Windows magic. It's been pretty interesting, you know. So let's see here. Tell the kernel, indicate the use of extended acknowledgement. Erno doesn't matter. Well, I guess it will. Like, we're gonna check for something. So let's see here. So this is the caller's request message with arbitrary bytes that we skip over when parsing the TLVs, right? I'll type TLS. The actual extended acknowledgement TLVs. So message Linux test. Oh, the memory layout stuff. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this needs to be... So what we want here... got, and then want is an op error, where the op is receive. And we're going to diff these errors. Oh, it's not what I wanted. Diff T fatal F. Oops. Why are my snippets not working? It's odd. diff t diff test. Oh, there we go. Okay. Want got unexpected op error, right? It's gonna panic. No, it doesn't. Sweet. One of the cool stuff you end up with Linux is that you get to use those internals for other cool purposes, like people using eBPF for tracing and enforcement and the filtering it was designed for. But this is all highly specific, in-kernel, highly specific VM. The same for netlink, where someone added RS-45 in the CAN bus with netlinks. You can treat them like any packet interface. Interesting. It sounds like you might have more internals knowledge about this than I do, actually. Like I've only really dealt with like a lot of the more simple APIs, I guess, and stuff. Like I've never dealt with like I'm not sure about things like I've never dealt with like CAN interfaces or RS-45 or there's a lot of weird like socket types on Linux and stuff. Error. Let's see here. So error. 1, right? But that's the Unix error now. Right. Operation not permitted, error no. Oh, -1. That's right. So it is a uint32, but we actually treat it as an int32 because of the signedness of it. There we go. Yeah. But if we use Unix error now, we got to put this behind build tags. Oh, what a pain. You mostly got interested in that a few DEF CONs ago, where someone did that to hack the ECUs in cars. Interesting. Okay. To see how you can use those internals and extend them with useful things that you never thought of. Right on. Bad request and then offset 2. Yeah. So message, bad request, offset 2. Okay. It passes. We added support for extended acknowledgement. Sweet. I feel like we should cover these error cases if we can, though. We'll do those in the other function, I think. Is this? I assume these unsafe size of calls are probably constant. I assume this probably produces a constant, but it says here, so size of header. I'll put that near the header definition as well. So right. Const size of header equals int. Unsafe size of is const. Yeah, right. I'll just put it up here because it'll just be easier to keep track of. So let's see here. Header type. Okay, so this let's see here. So use of extended acknowledgement, air no permission. Oh yeah, we're going to put this behind build tags. So guess we're doing this over here. That's fine, I guess. Message test, message Linux test. Where is it? There it is. So the Unix air no 1, -1. Yep. Pack, ack, packs, and extended acknowledgement response. I guess it's fairly self-descriptive anyway, isn't it? Copy the header length logic from con. Okay. I feel like, I don't know, I think I probably need to just like, frankly, it's kind of funny because I need to like kind of just go through the entire library and just like clean things up. Like there's lots of abstractions that are weird, or, you know, the tests especially kind of need some rework in some spots, but it's one of those things where like it works and the test coverage is so good and it's like people rely on it, so it's hard for me to justify ripping it totally apart too. So you know what else is const? Unsafe size of make map string int 128, whatever. Yeah, if you do like a lookup like that, it aligns away the map, right? That's pretty cool. It's like if I ever saw that in code review, I'd be like, but why? But it is pretty cool. I appreciate it, you know. Hey, how's it going? Good afternoon. Yeah, I feel like I should. I feel like I should try and test for these cases if I can. We can actually do those in the message test, I believe, or the con test. I forget exactly what. Con Linux test. Extended ack. Yeah, some of this stuff, we've got all these layers. We've got all these layers to like swap things out, like this test socket stuff, and like I'm just not sure how useful all this actually is anymore, you know. It ends up just being more of a pain to maintain. So part of me feels like I should go through and like remove some of this, but unsafe is the only Go package I import. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you import unsafe, you could unsafe import everything else and then be fine, you know. Receive short error message. Yeah. Let's see here. So short error. Short error message. Receive short error header. Short error. This would be error header. Short error number. Short error acknowledgement header. Right. So this will be the 0000000. Error no. And then this will be NL message header. Yep. Okay. So that covers that case now. And now we've got the, if we also specify the extended acknowledgement TLVs and then have the header offset, if the length of the data is less than, yeah. It's the whole thing. Actually, no, that didn't test what I wanted, did it? I think that tests the same thing. Actually, I need to specify acknowledge TLVs. That's right. Flags. So acknowledge TLVs. Yeah. No love for reflect. Love, no. Other strong emotions, sure. Doesn't work well for vampires. Yep. Malform TLVs, just return the up error with the info we have. Yeah. I think this is probably okay. Like I said, I think these tests kind of need a revamp as a whole, so I think we're probably in good shape to commit this now, actually. We added support for extended acknowledgement. Message and offset contain additional error information provided by the kernel when the extended acknowledge option is set on a con. If this option is not set... oh yeah, I need to also specify... Hang on. Why didn't that do the whole... Oh, that... Ah, shoot. Close. Give me the whole pane. I don't know what I did. There we go. Anyway. Set on a con, and the kernel replies to a message, or... The kernel indicates the extended... the acknowledge TLV's flag in a response. This option is not set, both these fields will contain the 0 value. Yeah. Will be empty. I think that's probably fine too. Let's see here. Offset message. Do we test the string output at all? Do we really? Errors Linux. Oh yeah, all the errors is stuff. We do test it actually. Huh. Do I test the strings at all? I don't think I do, but anyway. What's going on? Anyway. Okay, that's probably fine. Yeah, we're not adding Ghost View. I was using that for debugging. Unsafe, YOLO, the best. Message, unsafe size of header, flags for extended acknowledgements. Capped indicates the size of request was capped in an extended acknowledgement. See, I just don't understand the... Like, I feel like the I'm gonna have to look into that one. I don't understand it yet. It's one I haven't run into. Oops. Check message. We'll have to note about that, right? So to do investigate the capped flag, yeah. All of the historical comments in here, like, however, at one point this package checked for both, and it's like I had so many little things I did that, like, you know, had to modify, had to, like, you know, codify behaviors and stuff. Investigate capped, and I'll message error. Pack the extended acknowledgement. Cool. Okay. Start.go. We're not going to modify the go mod at all. Yes. Okay. So let's see here. So MDL xec netlink support for parsing extended acknowledgement errors. Origin head. Sweet. So fixes number 175. Go ahead and open up a PR just for the review option. Fixes number 175. Wonder if ACLN is still around. I haven't heard from him in a while, but -1 times. No extended acknowledgement. Yeah. Okay. Seems mostly fine. Cool. So create the pull request. I'm going to go ahead and merge this too, but I just want to do the pull request. That way we get all the CI builds and stuff before I break master, because I tend to do that a lot. I'm not very good about some of that stuff sometimes. So go s equals Darwin go build, right? Okay. Well, CI passes at least. No more go spew. Don't need it. Cool. We done good. We done good. 4:30, huh? I'm going for about an hour and 44. I wonder what I want to get into today. We just did this, which is going to be useful, I think, but... Oh, sorry about that. Got a message really quick. Yeah, so this should pass, in theory. FreeBSD build, yeah, just to make sure it all builds just fine. I should probably just get rid of source hut at this point. I don't think we really use the source hut builds as much anymore. Yeah, integration, test integrations. This is runs in GitHub Actions anyway. And then instead of FreeBSD, I could just run the non-Linux test stubs on what do you call it? Like a Darwin builder or something, or a macOS builder. We don't need that anymore. Let's see. We still need ETH-tool. We might go back to ETH-tool today too. Yeah, that might be what we do next. We'll see. I want this to pass so I can merge it. I actually want to start using this too, so I'm tempted to issue a point release, but I don't know. We'll see. I suppose I could just pull it from master if I need to use it for the time being, so it'd be nice to make sure that I actually can use this, like, for the projects I'm using it with, like ETH-tool. And then also, actually, I think Route Netlink might support this as well, actually, which would be pretty cool. Squash and merge. Done. Ship it. This would be a minor release, not a point release. Yeah, you're right. 1.1.3.0 something. Because I'm adding API, right? Well, what did I add in 1.2? Oh shoot, wrong one. What did I add in 1.2.1? I might have already messed that up. Let's see here. So, oh no, it's just a couple bug fixes, bug fixing the native endianness thing. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I never write the change log. I probably should, actually. That would be smart, but yeah, such is life. Yeah, some of these tests, man, I don't know. I'm not super happy with the way some of this came together, but it's some of the older stuff especially is just a pain. But I guess that's the thing when you're when you're working on the same project for years, like inevitably you end up with some stuff that you're not super happy with, you know. Um. Oh, all the network namespace stuff. Oh god, yeah. This is network namespaces are a thing. That's for sure. That'll get you in trouble. Oh, the debugging stuff. Yeah, that's right. I always wanted to do more with this. Never did though. Attribute test. Well, I guess at this point we can probably pull the ETH tool go back to the ETH tool repository and start using the extended act stuff. So let's see here. So code. Okay. So instead of doing the, you can't imagine how it is for kernel devs, tbh. I guess in what context do you mean? As far as like point releases and stuff, or like, you know, like developing the kernel? I think we're going to turn on extended acknowledge now all the time in this, and then we're going to get rid of the go mod replace too. Looking back at your code after years. Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I think that's how pretty much everybody feels about their projects, but yeah, I'm sure with kernel developers for sure. I know I feel that way about my old code too. Like I look at some of the stuff I wrote and I remember being proud of, and it's like, dear God, you know. Let's have a little fun really quick. You want to see my first my first Go project? 7 years ago. I was a student, and let's see here. How many race conditions are there? Yeah, just error, log, print line, common, static, you know, global variables, all these unnecessary comments, probably manipulating a map with concurrency. Yeah, right here. Clear the connection for the map after 2 minutes. You know, race conditions everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, my cron manager. Yeah, this is a thing. We're gonna pretend like we didn't see that now. Did you ever run static check on Goat? No, I should though. It'd be pretty funny actually. It'd probably be horrific. Git clone, GitHub, MD layer Goat. Static check. Really? Oh, it's all under the Goat directory, isn't it? Oh, it's because there's no Go mod in here, right? This is gonna be awful, I'm sure. BitTorrent tracking, are you a pirate? No, I just did this for fun because I thought, well, let's hear. Don't use Yoda conditions. Oh, QL. Yeah, some of the modules don't even exist. Yeah, this is probably very broken. Anyway, it doesn't matter. No, I thought BitTorrent was cool, and I was actually able to, like, you know, run my tracker with, like, you know, real peers and stuff, which is pretty neat. So it just seemed like a kind of a fun thing to learn about. Code.google.com. Yeah, exactly. Ancient history. So now we do go get-u, github.com, md layer, netlink. Can't even spell my name or my library name. Netlink at master, right? Does that work? I think it will. Yeah. 2020, 10, 12. Oh, 2020, 2021, 1, 23. Okay, yeah, that is right. Go mod tidy. So now if we run command nl ETH tool, command.go. Yeah, offset 24, message, no device matches name. Yep, okay. So now static check, go list, grep-v, temp fork. Is that an alias you use a lot? Yeah, so report extended ack errors to the caller. Acknowledgement errors to the caller. So I guess in this case, like what we were doing here before is we were actually, hang on. Failed to get wick on LAN modes, no such device. Yeah. You pasted the wrong thing. Gotcha. Errors is OS. Hang on a sec. I'm just curious. OS error not exist, right? Shoot. Yeah, this is the problem is I want to expose this information to the caller, but like I think especially the message will be useful, like just the message thing. We might need to make an error type for this package actually. Actually, can I implement the errors? I could implement is myself, right? So what I could do here is, hang on, so spelled that wrong too, doesn't matter. Yeah, so implements an is error bool such that target returns true. Yeah, so we can actually, so what we can do with this actually is we can do something kind of nice for people. So I think we're going to make an error type in this package, and we're going to expose both the netlink errors as well as the ethtool error, and that way the caller can do whatever they want to do. I think that probably is the most reasonable thing. So let's see here. Type error struct error message string. So this will be error. Everyone is still used to godoc.org instead of package.go.dev. Yeah, I think godoc.org just shows up first in the search results, but yeah, I tend to use godoc.org as well. I just forget, honestly. Is target, so because godoc.org has superior UX. Shots fired. So we're going to convert a couple of errors to, I think we're going to do the syscall unwrapping logic, and we're going to make that a little more friendly in this type. You'll miss it as well, yeah. I like package.go.dev. I think it's getting better all the time, but definitely the transition is just going to take time, you know, and stuff. So so let's see here. How do I want to do this? Return an error, which is going to be the error of the error. This is going to be the underlying error, and then the message is going to be derived from the extended acknowledgement. So message string. So if, actually, I guess I should probably use errors as, shouldn't I? No, well, a type assertion will be, yeah, I guess I probably should be using errors as for best practice, right? So O error, netlink, op error. So if errors as, I'm still used to the type assertion. And I guess we're calling the netlink library ourselves, so there's not gonna be any error chaining. So I guess the type assertion is fine. I'm gonna type assert here because I think I'm in control of this, but this might be a bad practice actually. Let's see here. So netlink, op error. Okay. The var message string message equals the op error message. The more you're involved with web dev, the more you appreciate simple layouts and minimal JS use. Yeah, for sure. Hey, what's going on? Dude. Straight chillin'. Straight chillin'. I can tell I'm not quite firing on all cylinders today, but what are you gonna do? We're gonna move all this logic into the is method, I think, basically. So the error is going to have, let's see here, client Linux. This isn't exactly where this should go, but so func e error is target error bool. Netlink errors with syscall error nodes must be unpacked to operating system independent Go errors. Now, that's not quite true anymore, but what we're going to do instead is, so if the target error is Unix eop not supported, then we'll return. Actually, I guess what we want here is we want a switch, right? So switch target case OS error not exists. We return op not support and enode dev because those are the two things that we're indicating are not exist. And then for case OS error permission, right, we're going to return eperm. So we're kind of inverting this logic a little bit, but this will allow us to unpack this, and then we return false otherwise. So default, return false. So let's see here. So this needs to, anyway. Actually, does it have to have this? It doesn't have to have this errors as in all platforms, does it? I guess it probably should for consistency, but it's not going to do anything. Return false. So. Yeah, so where I was at with this is close all of these. So. The accordion interface is not supported by ETHTool APIs or does not exist at all. Target. The caller lacks permission to perform an operation. And then we need the, let's see here, so method is error bool. I think the thing that gets me about the errors package is these anonymous interfaces. Like, I feel like this is still kind of tricky. I wish there was, like, these interfaces were defined, you know, but let's see. So is enables comparison with Sentinel. Enables error comparison with Sentinel errors such as OS error not exist and OS error permission. What am I doing here? So I need to make sure errors is, so I'm not even looking at E at all. I'm doing something weird here. So if the target is E not, oh no, hang on a sec. So the target, so I want to check E error. So if E error is op not support, there we go. Yeah, that's right. So the netlink error will be exposed now, but now it's compatible with the errors not exist interface and such, which is good. So if I go run this now, cannot use error literal, does not implement the, okay. Error string. Error. That's right. If e.message it's not empty, we return, let's return e error string. Error, actually. Let's print F, %v, %s, e error, e message, probably. Did I quote it in the other library? Maybe I did. Should it be? Failed to get, device matches name. Yeah. It's not quite right. Netlink received no such device. It's not quite right, is it? Let's see. Netlink received no such device. Yeah, no device matches name. Yeah, okay, so that is the error. Right, so I guess we don't really need to unpack the message. I mean, we can. It's just convenient for type assertion purposes and stuff. So we'll assume the caller. Let's see here. So the error string. This typically wraps a netlink op error, which will contain the error string anyway. So just return the error inner error string. Easy enough. An error is a error value produced by a bad ETH tool request. Okay. So now, failed to get wake on lab modes, netlink receive. Yes, we get all that information if we care about it. But we can actually also inspect for if errors is error OS error not exist. Just return, right? There we go. So that works. That does exactly what we want now, which is good. We'll probably have to change the tests now too. So unpack the extended acknowledgement error message if possible, so the caller doesn't have to type assert to the netlink error. So have to unpack it themselves, right? So we're always setting extended acknowledge because that gives us more information now. There's the caller. Yep. So we're always setting that socket option. Actually, there's one more thing I wanted to do with the netlink package. It's kind of silly, but it's like we've actually never added the ability to list the multicast group memberships, and I feel like we should probably just do that because it'd be really easy. We just haven't yet. Is this passed? Probably not. Nope. Operation not supported. Oh, that's right. Shit. It's the damn it. It's gonna have to be part of dial. Yeah. It's gonna have to go up there. There we go. Okay. Now it passes. Yeah, the NL test stuff does not support the netlink set option stuff, so I have to do this on the socket itself before I initialize it with the GE netlink family and such. So, okay, client.go. Let's look at the tests. Yeah, I want to see the coverage now with the execute. I want to unpack the error. Okay, yes, we do get the error. So, and we are getting extended acknowledgement. Really? That doesn't. Really? What are we testing with that uses that? We're not packing the extended X stuff, are we? No, we're not. We're definitely not. But we are using the dot error in here a few times. Yeah, GENL test. Okay. Yeah. So client error, GENL test error. Error no, error. All the GENL test, this stuff is also kind of hairy. And I'll test error. It'd be nice if I could include this in the, yeah, let's see here. Request data, and then you don't have the message. Yeah, so we can't do extended acknowledgement in here. Damn. Damn. That's okay, I guess. I guess it's fine. I guess it's fine. We can do it with an integration test. Like, we can actually just create an integration test and look for some interface that doesn't exist and just, like, get that. AMDWI, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, we could just, we could cheat that a little bit. Yeah. Call lacks permission. Query interface is not supported by these tool APIs. Does not exist. Let's see here. So, close. Close. Eno-dev, eop not support. We also check for, do we check for eperm? Because we should, I think, if we don't already. We're gonna do that over here. eperm error permission. This is because we always return the error number. Why can't this be error perm? I already forgot how my damn tests work. We wrote these like a week ago, you know? The base client sets up the multicast group and stuff, sets up the GE netlink dial. Okay. Turns a netlink error. Yeah. So eperm should get unpacked successfully. It's not for some reason. Equate errors. Errors is, yeah. Oh, wait, does eperm... Huh. I wonder if this is something built into the CMP library I'm using that I am not noticing. We'll leave this alone for now, but I think we test for eperm specifically in the wake on land stuff, don't we? It's been a little bit. It's kind of funny. This library is so much like cleaner than my old netlink projects, just because I have 4 more years of knowledge at this point. 4 more years of experience, right? Makes things a little easier. Yeah, we do test for eperm here. Okay. GENL test, eperm. Yep. Okay. Set wake on LAN. Get. Bad request. And you get the execute stuff, you get the error type. I suppose maybe for one of these I should look at the actual error and inspect it. So for example, if we do client errors. So if we dump the raw error here, what's this going to give us, right? The ethtool error type. So go watch -v equals -run equals test Linux client errors, right? Netlink received no such device. Yeah, ethtool error. Empty request, link state, bad request. Yeah. So if it's netlink error, it gets packed into a, oh shit, hang on. It doesn't get packed. Oh, we need to make sure we pack the other one too. Bad request. So error. Like so. The caller is not requesting a dump information. I guess we could just, the kernel will e-inval. We could e-inval on the kernel's behalf even if we wanted to, but maybe the convention can be here that we ethtool netlink. I think probably the convention we want to make here is that the error type is only returned by the kernel messages. So let's see here. So is an error value produced by the kernel due to a bad ethtool netlink request. Yeah. Typically, the error will be of type netlink op error. Okay. Go generate. Actually, we changed projects, so I should probably update that command, shouldn't I? Commands edit project. We're now working on the. I guess we're still working on the netlink stuff a little bit too, but it's fine. I'm gonna leave it alone. Dimitri Miner, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. So, does this build with Darwin and stuff? I tend to forget that. Okay, it does. Single line format. Go generate. We don't want, let's see here. Oh, we do want actually, so go mod tidy. We're bumping the netlink library, so git add -p go .star. Yes, we want to stage all these changes because we're using the netlink library in unstable version. Yep. Sharing native, empty layer netlink, net, sys. Yeah, okay. Go.mod. Bump to github.com, md layer, netlink at master. And then we need to have the client stuff. So this is the extended acknowledgement. So error, extended acknowledgement. So now we're actually using them all over the place, which is great. We moved all the logic over into the is method, which is nice too. Error not exist, error permission. Those are the contracts we support with colors right now, is error not exist and error permission. I need to unstage the test change because client Linux test. Let's see here. So we have the client, and then we, under the Linux, we have the errors is. Good night, everyone. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Take care. Have a good one. Errors that are part of the client's contract, API contract, such as error not exist and error permission. Cool. Start at go. Okay. Yeah, turn on extended acknowledgement. Sweet. So ETH tool, use netlink extended acknowledge. That's for errors. Cool. So that actually will give us a lot more information when we mess things up, which is nice. So again, as an example, we run this now, and it will actually tell us, oh, I modified it, didn't I? Yeah, so it'll actually complain to me and say, like, no such device, no device matches this name with this request, which is pretty cool. So that is something quite useful. And again, I think Route Netlink can use this too, to some extent, but I don't have any open source code right now that I can test that with. I'll test it at work though. That'll be good. That'll be useful. So I'm glad we implemented this because this is something that I needed both in open source and at work. So let me check my, one sec. Oh. Yeah, we done good. We done good. Back to this. Is there anything else I really want to work on in this today? Let's see here. I suppose we could, in theory, add a couple more like functions and stuff for parsing this, but the problem is last time we looked at the ETH tool netlink APIs, let's see here, ETH tool netlink. Last time we looked, we found out that a lot of the fields we want to parse either are not supported by my NICs or not available yet. So for example, yeah, request translation, NA, like some of this stuff like the stats APIs, the EEPROM, ETH tool tests. Yeah, a lot of these things aren't available yet, unfortunately. So RT netlink, RTM get link. So let's wait for this API to be a little bit more fleshed out, but I suspect that will continue to happen over time too. But it kind of stinks because I wanted to build like this big like monitoring daemon and stuff for like the physical link, but I'm not sure I'm ready yet. I'm not sure we have the API stats or the API stuff we really need. But I could start playing with routing protocols. I could maybe start working on OSPF. That could be fun. Yeah, no problem. That's what normal people do, right? Do their own implementation of OSPF and go. Not ready for that kind of commitment. Commitment to the OSPF or to the ETH tool netlink daemon. I think commitment to OSPF is going to be a big one. But I want to do it. I kind of want to lab it up first though and get it working and like understand it. Because like right now I know the basic like concepts, but I've never actually operated OSPF. So I feel like trying to write my own protocol implementation when I've never operated it might be a thing. Well, it's just a joke either way. Fair enough. Is there anything else we really care about right now? See, the problem is like there's a lot of interesting like low-level information here, but I don't. I'm not even sure what my Nick's support on all of these is the problem. Channels, rings, privileged flags, private flags. Let's see here. Features. Hardware features, wanted features, bitmask. Struct net device, legacy flags. Wake on LAN, got all that. Debug information, bitmask, link states. We can't get all the cool stuff. Well, it's 505 OSPF v3. I'm gonna regret this, aren't I? I'm gonna regret the hell out of this, I'm sure. RFC 7949. Oh, that's not that big. Did they miss updating the documentation on ETH-tool test? Let me check. ETH-tool test. So this is the Ioctl API. Like, I'm pretty sure that the tests like I was looking at are supported by Ioctl, but they're not supported by netlink. So I'm waiting for this to get ported into the netlink API, basically. At the moment, that would be nice. But if that's what you're asking. Oh, so this is just the changes, huh? You mixed it up. Sorry. Yeah, no problem. Pseudo header for OSPF v3 over IPv4. Oh boy. Yeah, right. So if I understand correctly with OSPF, like v2 was just v4 and then v3 also added v6, so you can actually run v3 over v4 or v2 and v3 simultaneously, which is an interesting thing. I think I would probably just do 5340 OSPF for IPv6. Yeah, only 92 pages. Only 92 pages, no problem. I mean, I guess the way I usually start with stuff like this is by just like looking at packet definitions and starting to write structs. And then we can actually do like the handshakes and stuff. But I think I need to deploy bird on my router. Probably deploy bird on my lab VLAN. That could be pretty useful. And then start TCP dumping the traffic and see if, for example, if I'm actually receiving OSPF information, like the advertisements. Differences. OSPF v2 have been preserved. Yeah. In OSPF for IPv6, the addressing semantics have been removed from the OSPF protocol packets in the main LSA types, leaving a network protocol independent core. Really? I guess the video I was looking at earlier was probably OSPF v2 then. Hey, Spitfire, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. So IPv6 addresses are not present in OSPF packets except for the LSA payloads. Interesting. But it runs over IP, right? Wireshark can be quite helpful in decoding OSPF. Yeah, I'm sure. I'll definitely be doing some Wireshark with like Bird and stuff just to play with it. But I'm getting kind of hungry too. I'm wondering how committed I am to this idea tonight. Like, I wonder. Part of me is like, should I cut stream and do some research and then like come back and do a better stream like tomorrow or something and eat dinner? Maybe. Otherwise, I would need to like take a break for dinner and stuff and then come back. And I'm not sure I'm gonna have the motivation once I eat. I'll probably be dead. So yeah, I think we'll look at this. I need to lab this up a little bit, but I don't think we're gonna get into OSPF today. But I think I am going to start playing with OSPF at home and running multiple routers, distributing routes, all that stuff, fun, interior gateway protocol magic. And we'll have a good time. So let's see who's streaming. Let's see if we can send somebody a raid. Let's see here. Oh, Anthony is streaming again. Okay. We could raid Anthony again if he's still streaming. I'm not sure if Taryn is still around, but Taryn was... I guess he did not commit to streaming, so... Not you. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think we're going to send Anthony another raid. We did it the other day as well, but he happens to be streaming again around the same time, so hey. Hey, I like that crowd. Nice. Yeah. Let's get that going 1 sec. I need to. Opening a raid is always weird when you're the streamer because like you want to be there when they get the raid and stuff too. Okay, let me pause my Spotify so I can actually hear what he's saying. Yeah, we're gonna send Anthony a raid. It looks like Anthony is hacking on open source Python programming. I have no idea. Looks like add trailing comma. Oh, wasn't he working on like an editor or something? That's pretty cool. So I think we're gonna send Anthony a raid. That'll be fun. Let's get that going. Taryn might be streaming later, but you're eating lunch and sending NixOS PRs. Hey, nice. Very cool. Yeah, thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate it. We're going to send a raid over to Anthony. So go enjoy some Python. Go hang out. And if Taryn is streaming later, go check out Taryn too. So, all right. See you all later. Bye now. See ya.